Hello, I'm Camelia and this is KiniNews. The ongoing COVID-19 surge in China has led to a global response to tighten health checks, and Malaysia is preparing for a response of its own to keep Malaysians safe, which Anwar called a top priority today. Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim announced today that the country will tighten health checks on incoming travellers. This is due to the spike in the number of COVID-19 cases in other countries. Speaking at a press conference held after today's cabinet meeting, Anwar stressed that the people's health will be a top priority.
Menteri Kesihatan diberi mandat untuk memberi penjelasan lanjut berikutnya, tetapi bagi kita saya ingin nak bagi penjelasan. Jemaah Menteri memutuskan tanpa ragu bahawa masalah kesihatan rakyat itu adalah hal yang utama. Soal pelancongan atau pertumbuhan ekonomi itu tidak boleh mengatasi kepentingan mengawal dan merawat rakyat dari segi wabak dan juga jangkitan, termasuk COVID-19.
The ongoing COVID-19 surge in China had prompted some to call for heightened border control measures, especially for inbound travellers from China. However, Anwar said no single nation would be discriminated against.
Sekarang ini kita tidak ambil pendirian untuk diskriminasi mana-mana negara. Kerana kalau kita lihat umpamanya kadar kejangkitan di negara China yang diwar-warkan, kita juga tahu kematian di Amerika Syarikat akibat Covid-19 juga tinggi, begitu juga beberapa negara lain. Jadi kita ambil tindakan untuk menyelamatkan rakyat kita. Jadi siapa saja masuk harus dikenakan dipantau dan dikenakan syarat yang sama.
The coach caught in the slapping incident may have apologized, but the relevant ministries are set to continue its probe to send a strong signal to protect future generations. The investigation against the volleyball coach who slapped two volleyball players last month will continue. This is despite the coach having apologized and been forgiven by one of the players. Youth and Sports Minister Hannah Yoh said the probe is being continued because such an incident could set a precedent for the next generation in sports. Hannah also tweeted that her sentiments are shared by Education Minister Fadlina Sidek. The incident reportedly took place on December 14th at the 20th Malaysia Youth Under-14 Volleyball Championship during a match between Malacca and Johor. It was alleged that the coach became emotional after his team did not perform as expected. Malacca State Executive Councillor VP Shanmugam said that the Malacca Volleyball Association would decide on the fate of the coach by today. Yesterday, the father of a player who was slapped said his daughter hoped the coach would retain his job. 50% 5G coverage in populated areas? If that's the case, why does my phone still say 4G then, despite being in Petaling Jaya? The claim made by Digital National Berhad appears to be unverified, and the minister in charge is demanding answers. The Digital National Berhad has been ordered to explain its claim that 5G coverage has reached almost 50% in populated areas. Taking to social media, Communications and Digital Minister Fahmi Fadzil demanded an explanation from the state-owned network. The minister reprimanded DNB for releasing unverified figures on 5G network coverage. Fahmi said DNB officials must explain how they arrived at these figures. This is especially so as the Malaysian Communications and Multimedia Commission has not yet verified this information. He added that DNB should not publish such information prior to verification next time. Fahmi was responding to political analyst James Chin, who questioned the 5G network figure released by the DNB on Twitter. Chin also uploaded a screenshot of a report which quoted DNB claiming the 5G network rollout has reached almost 50% in the populated area as of end 2022, surpassing the initial target of 40%. Chin said he could not even get 4G in a town in Sarawak. Putrajaya is currently reviewing the 11 billion ringgit 5G network contract awarded by DNB to Swedish telecommunications giant Ericsson under the previous administration. Last month, Fahmi also revealed that as of October 31st, DNB was still continuing with the development of 5G infrastructure works. DNB plans to implement 5G coverage in 80% of residential areas by 2024. A group is calling Anwar Ibrahim to show he means business by eliminating alleged corruption in Selangor, a state run by Pakatan Harapan. Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim has been urged to instruct the MACC to expedite its investigation into the Selangor government. This is over approvals given to companies to open 27 quarries at the Bukit Lagong Forest Reserve in the state. Green Party Malaysia Pro Tem Secretary General Abdul Razak Ismail said it is the right time for the Prime Minister to eliminate the alleged corruption within the Pakatan Harapan-led state government.
So saya minta lah Datuk Seri Anwar ya baru ni dia ada bagi tahu dalam press statement mengatakan ada terdapatnya pegawai-pegawai kerajaan, segelintir pegawai kerajaan terlibat dalam rasuah. So this is salah satu yang kita minta Datuk Seri Anwar buat ni as a case president case untuk disaksi pasal dalam kes ni berlakunya banyak pelanggaran sebenarnya, berlakunya banyak unsur-unsur rasuah, conflict of interest, penyalahgunaan kuasa.
Razak first lodged a report with Selangor MACC in his capacity as the Secretary of PKR Veterans Group Otai Reformists 1998 in October 2022. He said he was told that the case has been transferred to the MACC headquarters. Razak has then joined the TGP, a political party with an environmental focus. Earlier today, he submitted a memorandum to the MACC headquarters as a move to follow up on the investigation progress by the MACC headquarters in Putrajaya. During the Selangor Legislative Assembly sitting in 2010, the state government approved the 25-year moratorium policy, which bans any kind of deforestation activities at forest reserves from 2010 to 2035. However, he said the Selangor state government had used a provision under Section 28 of the Selangor Forestry Act to permit the taking of forests by way of a minor license. Among the companies involved include 3 developers that are linked to the Selangor state government. Strong criticisms from many people, including activists and politicians, have since been raised against the land clearing and logging. Next time you pass a 7-Eleven, just know it has a new chairperson, and it's a familiar name. The convenience store chain 7-Eleven Malaysia Holdings Berhad has named Farhash Wafa Salvador Rizal Mubarak as its new chairperson. If the name sounds similar, that's because Farhash used to be PKR President Anwar Ibrahim's political secretary. According to a Bernama report citing the company's filings with Bursa Malaysia, he replaces Robin Tan Yong Ching, who resigned as chairperson on Tuesday to pursue other interests. Tan is the son of the Berjaya Group's tycoon Vincent Tan. The company said Farhash brings with him more than a decade's worth of experience in the field of business, consultancy and advisory. Farhash was Anwar's aide and Perak PKR chairperson until he stepped down last year. He told Malaysia Kini at the time that the resignation was so that his participation in the PKR election would not affect Anwar's party presidency. He ultimately lost his bid for vice presidency and Gombak division chief. Rafizi is the minister in charge of the economy, and his critics are already demanding to see results of his work. However, the PKR leader explained today that fixing the economy takes time. Economy Minister Rafizi Ramli said that economic policies need time to bear fruit. His statement comes a month into holding office as a minister. Taking to Twitter yesterday, Rafizi said this especially amid a challenging global economic outlook and a domestic economy weakened by previous administrations. He said there are certain things that can bear instant results, but the majority of economic planning takes more than a year, sometimes even longer. According to Rafizi, the government aspires to elevate the country's economy to a high-value one so that the people can handle the effects of inflation. He noted criticisms from Perikatan national lawmakers who questioned his efficiency as part of the government but said there were challenges that he was willing to face. Muhammad Yusuf Rotha's lawsuit against Anwar Ibrahim continues. Here's where we are now.
The Court of Appeal has set April 7th to hear Muhammad Yusuf Rotha's appeal to remove parts of Anwar Ibrahim's statement of defense against a sexual misconduct lawsuit. The hearing is in relation to Yusuf's ongoing civil action against Anwar over the Prime Minister's alleged sexual misconduct against the appellant. Anwar's lawyer Navpreet Singh confirmed that the Court of Appeal fixed the hearing date during case management yesterday. Yusuf's appeal is against the Kuala Lumpur High Court decision on September 9th last year, which dismissed the plaintiff's application to strike out certain parts of Anwar's statement of defense against the civil action. In Anwar's statement of defense, he dismissed the sexual misconduct allegations as utterly false and fabricated. Anwar contended that Yusuf was never employed as a research assistant at the former's office at Bukit Gasing, but rather that Yusuf had joined as a junior volunteer and intern involved in administrative work. In Anwar's counterclaim against Yusuf, he stated that the latter concocted the allegations to tarnish Anwar's political image and to ensure that Anwar did not become Prime Minister. Yusuf came into the limelight in 2019 when he alleged he was physically assaulted at Anwar's office. He also claimed at a press conference on December 3rd, the same year, that he was also sexually assaulted. During the media briefing making this allegation, Yusuf relied on a statutory declaration dated November 19, 2019. He filed the lawsuit after the AGC announced on January 14, 2020, that it would not be charging Anwar over the allegations due to a lack of evidence.
And that is all from me today. For more stories, you can go to KiniTV.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook for the latest news updates. If you'd like to support independent media, do consider subscribing to MalaysiaKini.com. I'm Kimilia. Thanks for watching.